All right, there we go. What's going on, everybody? My name is Caden Hayward. I am the CEO and founder of Coach Hayward, and I've got an amazing training for you ladies today. We're going to be talking about some hormones. So I know this is such a popular topic nowadays. I see a lot of people talking about it online, and are your hormones? Is your body broken? Is your hormones off, or whatever it may be? So today we're going to dive into some hormones a little bit. We're going to talk about it and some things that I've seen over the years with my female clients. And we're talking about specifically, though, estrogen. Okay, so we're going to talk about specifically estrogen today, and we're going to break that down for you. So I just want to let you know, too, that your body is not broken. Okay, I just want to start that off with that statement right there. So let's jump into it, though. As always, if y'all have any questions for me, make sure you comment down below. If you don't have time to watch the training right now, the recording will be set for you for later. And if you have any questions when I'm doing this live, comment down below. And if you have any questions after, you can message me or comment down below too, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so breaking into it. So some of the hormones, and I just want you to take this with a grain of salt because ultimately, with the symptoms, symptoms. Some of the symptoms here are very common symptoms, like with so many other issues. But some of the issues or the symptoms when it comes to our hormones being off, so specifically like estrogen, is number one, and I hear this a lot with a lot of ladies I work with, like after they turn 40, is like, they always tell me, like, Caden, the weight's just not coming off the same anymore. Like, I literally did nothing in my life. I changed literally nothing, but now I just had a huge spike in weight gain in the past year, and I don't know what's going on. If that is you, you want to pay attention to this. So, that's number one symptom is that, do you feel like your weight loss got just like tremendously harder? Like, it's just not working like it used to in your 30s or 20s? So, that could be one thing. Number two is mood swings. Do you feel like, you're having mood swings just randomly, like depression or anxiety just out of the blue? Could be another symptom. The number three is just tired, like feeling fatigued and just really, really tired, and you don't know why, and it's just kind of happening. Now, the next one is, and this is in animal studies, but ultimately they showed in animal studies when they're testing this out with animals with lower estrogen is that typically they are less likely to move. They don't really want to move much, and they're more likely to eat more, which is really interesting. Okay, so there's just a couple symptoms for y'all. So today's topic, as I mentioned, when we're talking about hormones here, is we're specifically going to talk about estrogen. Okay, ladies, so that is your main one. Guys, testosterone, ladies, estrogen. So why is this important though? So I'm breaking down my notes here if y'all are wondering. So why is this important though? Why should we know about this? Especially if you're going into your 40s plus, is ultimately, just as you age naturally, your estrogen will dip. So going through menopause, your estrogen is going to drop, your hormones going to go all over the place. But even when you get into like your 40s and later in your 30s as well, your estrogen levels are going to either dip or increase. Okay, so they're going to start fluctuating. And especially like, before menopause, your body's just getting prepared for it. So things are going to be a little off, you could say, but it's actually just completely normal. But just compared to, before your estrogen levels changing, it might seem a little off for you there. So yeah, that's going to happen automatically. Okay, so your estrogen is going to change. Your levels are going to dip automatically as you age. It's totally fine. It's normal to happen. Your body's not broken. Okay, I hear it all the time from ladies who come to me and they're struggling with their weight loss and in their 40s, 50s plus, and they're always talking about how they just feel like their body's broken. And I feel for you, but it's not broken. Okay, it's just your body's going through natural changes, which is fine. It's totally okay as long as you know how to work against it. Because sadly, it's not really a sad thing, but it's ultimately, as we age, our body wants to go against us. And if we don't do anything to work on it, well, then it's going to get much worse. And that's just the fact. So it's really important here, though, ultimately, estrogen is because one of the things here, so I don't know too much about this, but I did want to state this as I was doing my research. Ultimately, though, it can cause the body to not use starches and blood sugar as effectively. Okay, so ultimately, what that would happen there, like if that's the case, then like your fat storage, you're going to store more fat and not burn it as effectively as usual. Okay, now the next thing here is your mental health can be impacted as well. A lot of mood swings and just up and down. So it's good to be prepared for that and be aware of it. And now the next thing though is that your body's just going to go through changes. So even like during menopause, you hear like the term like menopause belly. That is a thing. And the reason why is because as women are transitioning from being able to have babies to not being able to have babies, what's going to happen is that your fat is going to start storing differently. Okay. And it's interesting because as men, like as myself, a male, typically my fat will store in my stomach area. And that's just because I have lower estrogen, high testosterone, right? So as a female's estrogen starts to dip down, they're going to start storing fat in their stomach area as well. So if you're wondering why like this random belly fat's just showing up on your stomach and on your hips and stuff like that, and it just came out of nowhere's again, there you go. Okay, that could be a reason, but don't take like because there could be different factors, right? So, anyways, the next thing here is, and this is what we're going to really dive into today, because this is going to help you break this and still lose weight. Is that estrogen is linked to like your metabolism. Okay, so as your estrogen goes down, so does your metabolism go down. And for those who don't know, basically, like what our metabolism is like how effectively we burn calories, okay, just naturally. So, like me talking to you guys, me thinking, me moving my arms, like I'm using energy, right? So I'm burning calories. So I want you to think of calories as in like your energy source, okay? So you know how a car needs gas to drive and it slowly runs out. So your metabolism, oh, thank you so much, Krista. So when it comes to your food, think of it as your energy. Okay. And ultimately, your body has a certain amount. So, you know how cars can run on a certain amount of gas? Your body has a certain amount of calories it's normally going to burn per day. Okay. That's your metabolism, your BMR, basal metabolic rate. Now, what happens is when your estrogen dips, your basal metabolic rate, so your BMR, so your metabolism, is going to dip as well. It's going to go down. And that means that you're not going to burn as many calories as you usually do on a day-to-day basis. So just to give you an example, like just throwing it out there, let's say, normally your body burns 2,000 calories a day, and let's say your estrogen drops. Then let's say you go down to only burning 17 or 1,600 calories a day. So now there's 400 calories left that you're not burning more. And if you're still eating the same amount and that does drop, well then now that 400 calories, well that's going to be storing in your body. And then that's how the weight gain happens. So that's why a lot of times when a lot of ladies in their later 30s or 40s, and when they notice that this instant weight gain happens, and they didn't change anything in their lives, it's because of your metabolism probably just shifting. Okay. And don't worry, if you're stressed about that, don't worry, because I'm going to show you today on how you can solve that yourself. Okay. So that's the biggest thing that we want to talk about, though, is ultimately is your metabolism, okay? Because estrogen and metabolism are like completely linked, and boosting that metabolism is going to help you tremendously on your weight loss journey, okay? Now, I just want to let you know again that 99% of the time, your body's not broken. There's no issues about it, and a lot of these people who will tell you like it's just in general, just know that your body's not broken, okay? You're all good. And a lot of time when people are telling you like, oh, we'll fix your hormones and stuff like that, a lot of the time if you see a coach and stuff talk about like fixing your hormones, it's very simple. Like I'm gonna break most of it down here for you today. And it's not about fixing your hormones, it's just optimizing your body better. It's just getting you performing better, making sure your body gets performing better and healthier. Okay. So another thing I want to add in here too, okay, is like, this is completely normal changes. So there's nothing to be afraid of because you're just scaring yourself for no reason. Like I know a lot of like girls and just people in general like don't like to the thought of aging, but it's like why not? Like it's going to happen anyways. You're literally stressing yourself about nothing because it's like there's nothing you can do about it. And it's like if it's about looks, things like that, well then tie your identity and your worth to something else, okay? Because looks are not everything at all. Okay. I just want to say that because I feel for a lot of people who struggle with that, like the thought of getting older and things like that. But ultimately, as well, like just know that if you work on yourself, like guys, I have people in the gym that I go to, and there's these people in there with lower body fat than me. And one of my clients, they're in their 50s and they have a freaking six pack, and their body fat percentage is probably lower than mine. Actually, I know it's lower than mine. So like their shape is like unbelievably, like they're in amazing shape. So just know that, like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, you will age and things will go against you, but it's like, as long as you're working against it, it's not going to stop you. Like, it's not going to play a role at all. Like, I see ladies in the gym in their 60s and 70s freaking busting out the weights, crushing it. Okay. So it's like you have so much more potential than you think. It's actually crazy. So one second, I just got to check my time. 'Cause anyway, so that's in general, that's why though what you might see that increase in weight, okay, is because your metabolism. So breaking that down, now the next thing here is what can you do? Okay. So ultimately, what can you do to fix this? Well, of course, there's like I always recommend this is like just make sure you're getting checked up with your doctor, checking your blood, and getting blood tests done and stuff, just overall for your health. And sometimes very, 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 very rarely like will you ever need like hormone therapy, so like estrogen replacement, whatever that may be. But that's very, very rare. But again, it's always important to just get checked up and making sure that you're overall all good and all healthy. Now the next things though that you can do, and this is what I help my clients do, or I guess no, the second thing, so there's pretty much three things. So number one is you can do that, of course. Number two is you can just complain about it and do nothing and then let things get worse. Or number three is you can do something about it, change, take action on your fit goals and your overall health. Okay, remember, it's not about just, losing weight. It's about being healthy overall as well. And that's why these non-sustainable diets and stuff, they're not the answer to helping you get to where you want to go because it's only temporary. Okay, so number three is what I help out with, though, is ultimately boosting your metabolism and building a healthier lifestyle. Okay, not a healthier diet, a healthier lifestyle. So, some key points here for you guys that we want to talk about here today is ultimately, one of the good things as you age is that you don't have your body doesn't need as many calories as it usually does, so that gives you more room when you're cutting down your calories. So that therefore it's easier to make sure you don't hit any plateaus and whatnot, because you can keep cutting your calories down. But it's best to not just start out with like a complete drop down to 1,200 calories a day, because then it kind of like you're gonna have to reverse diet. It's gonna make it much harder on your weight loss because you will hit a plateau eventually. So it's best to start out, slight calorie deficit and keep taking them off as you go. But ultimately, the biggest things here, guys, when it comes to, or ladies, I should say, when it comes to boosting your metabolism and as you're getting older, just in your 40s, 50s plus, because that's the thing we want to focus on today is specifically boosting the metabolism. And that's going to help you tremendously where as you age, your metabolism is going to go down. And the other thing that happens as you age as well is that your muscle mass will decline as well. Naturally, it's going to happen. And naturally, on average, like people when they hit their 40s plus, or I think it's 50s, like naturally you're going to be gaining weight every single year, like on average, if we look at statistics. Okay, so that's if you do nothing about it. Studies show about 60% of adults do not move their body enough, and I actually don't think that's true. I think probably like almost 80%. Like I think it's a lot, especially with like desk jobs and stuff like that nowadays, like just not getting much movement in. So that leads me into the first part is movement. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Now, as this happens, it's going to be harder for, not harder, but your body's not going to utilize its calories as good as it used to when, years before. So you will have to not necessarily work a little harder, but in general, you should always be, when you're going to the gym, if you're going to work out, put the effort in when you're there. Don't just half-ass it because why be there in the first place, right? This is something here's an example, like something I'm doing now is like I would buy before I'd buy like crappier steak, right? Like just not as good quality, but it'd be full of fat and it wasn't like as lean, it wasn't like as good and healthy as I wanted, or maybe like a processed food. But in my head, it's like, okay, so why am I buying the steak? I'm buying it because I want to get healthier and hit my goals, but yet I'm buying the cheaper one that is, not benefiting me whatsoever. Like I might as well either buy the good quality steak or just not buy it at all and get something else. So the same thing with working out, go in there and work to like your 80% maximum. Okay, don't go to 100% and get injured, but go to your 80% maximum. Push yourself, get a sweat on. It feels so freaking good when we work on ourselves. Okay, people in general, like as we're made, we love to have goals. So ultimately, that's the biggest one is move your body. And I would recommend start out with 3 times per week, 30 minutes or so, and get like your steps in every single day. Try to hit like 7 to 10K steps a day or so. Hitting 10K steps a day, if you're just already in a calorie deficit, that's going to help you lose almost an extra pound, I think, per week. So it's like a good amount of calories that you will burn from getting those steps in. So ultimately move your body though. One of the best types of exercise that you can do, ladies, is strength training. Don't be afraid of those weights. Just take it slow, take it easy. And another thing too is like don't feel embarrassed because you might be thinking that that person or that guy or that girl over there working out, they might be making fun of you, but in reality, 99% of the time, they're looking at you and they're like, that's awesome. Like, I'm so happy for them because they know what it's like. Okay. I remember when I first went to the gym, I was so insecure. I stood in the corner and I did bicep curls probably for an hour straight because I was so freaking nervous, right? I just didn't want to look like an idiot. But it's like, no, it's okay. You got to learn. Practice the form first. Get some help if you need to. But everyone has to go through that stage. So it's totally fine. Don't even worry about it. So basically though, what I would recommend if I was in your position, okay, I would focus on strength training. Okay, like cardio, yeah, you can do cardio, of course, get your cardio, but I think get your steps in daily. So move your body, get in the habit of being active. Okay, if you have a tendency to watch movies with your family all the time, or Netflix all the time, or any of those routines and those habits, break those habits with movement, okay? Get used to, go get a dog and then walk them every single night, something like that. Remove your body, okay? Get into more of an active lifestyle. How your body looks is basically how your lifestyle is, okay? So if I was going to go to the gym, if I were you, though, at least 3 times a week, maybe 4 times per week, or if you want to go more, totally fine. Just make sure it's sustainable. I'd focus on strength training. So I'd do maybe like cardio, incline cardio for like 10 minutes, either like sprints for 30 seconds, walk for 30 seconds, repeat, or I'd just do like a fast walk for 10, 15 minutes or so. And then I'd go over to the weights and I'd bust out the weights. Okay. If I'm doing full body, I'm going to start out with probably a barbell squat. So that way I can get like the best bang for my buck. I can put all my energy into like the best lift possible. And I'd probably just do like 2 exercises for each big muscle group I have. So it's like 2 exercises for my legs, 2 for my chest area, 2 for my back. And if I want it, just add in some quick abs at the end and then do some stretching and then you're good to go. And that can take you probably like 30 to 45 minutes if you're effective, you're focused, you're not on your phone the whole time. All right. I've been there, so I get it. So that's what I would do though, because strength training is one of the best things you can do to boost your metabolism because it's not only going to boost your metabolism while you're working out, it's going to boost it long after you're done. I believe for the next 8 hours or so, if you are building that strength. Okay, how to really build strength. Ultimately, the best rep range I would recommend. Don't start out with 8 reps if you're a beginner. I'd recommend you stick to about 10 to 15 rep range and lift some weights or do some like body weight stuff that really stresses your muscle. Remember, how we get stronger is by stressing the muscle. Okay, so if you're just lifting and it's not that hard, it's like you're barely going to get results. But also, you don't have to feel like tremendous amount of pain and hurting on your body after your workout either. Like you don't have to. It's all about finding that perfect sweet spot though, and that's how you're going to build that strength is by micro tears in your muscles, and they build back more dense and stronger. Okay, and just make sure you're getting your protein in. So that's the fitness side of things. Now, if you just can do that, if you can just work out at least 3 times a week, ladies, I'm telling you, that is going to save your life in the future because it's going to help build your strong bones. So you don't have to worry about breaking a hip or anything when you're older. Because I know some ladies, there's like 2 groups, and one group of ladies I noticed don't eat enough food. And that means you're going to be deficient in your minerals. Okay. So if you find that you're someone who doesn't eat enough food, you got to get your minerals in. So you better start eating more or taking supplements or whatever it may be. But by strength training, it's going to help you tremendously with your health long term. Okay. So just by doing that simply, it's going to help boost up your metabolism and go against your natural as we age, it will decline. Okay. So that'll help you keep your muscle mass on, get you stronger, make you feel mentally just 20,000 times better, and keep your metabolism boosted overall too. Okay, so that means you're going to burn more calories naturally throughout the day. The extra benefit about this, okay, and this kind of ties in with nutrition as well, but I might as well spiel it now, is that okay, I want you to imagine like this. Like the more muscle you have in your body, the more metabolism, like your metabolism is going to be boosted because ultimately muscle, we have to our bodies have to work harder to keep the muscle on than the fat. Okay. So that being said, the more muscle you have, like I find usually for like people's weight loss journeys is like the first 2 weeks you'll lose a ton of weight because like the water weight, and then after that there's like this little stalling period where it gets harder, and that's where 90% of people quit. And if you just understand that, like, okay, this is where most people quit, so I have to keep going if I want to lose weight, because if not, I'm going to fall into the statistic and I'm going to just be another person who quit. So at that point, understand that might happen on your journey. Now, if you just give it like if you like from the time that you started to the point, if you give it like 5 6 weeks or so, what you're going to find is you're going to start speeding up tremendously, and even faster. And when you have lower body fat, your metabolism is boosted. So just think of that. It's like, okay, working out, I'm burning off the fat, and as a side effect, my metabolism is only getting better and better and better. So it's like you're set. Okay, so more muscle, less body fat means that you're going to have a higher, better metabolism. Okay. And that means don't crash diet because you'll eat up your muscle mass. Don't just diet because you'll still naturally, just as you age, you're going to lose your muscle mass as well. So make sure fitness is a priority as well. Okay. Now, the next thing here, and let me know if you guys have any questions as I'm going on. But the next thing here that's super, super important is with the nutrition side of things. Okay, so specifically getting more protein in. I would say, like, if you're just on your own trying to do this, find a way where you can track your food and try to hit 30% protein. Okay, basically to hit 30% protein, just have protein every single meal you have, and try to do it like a a palm of your hand, or that's what they do when they explain like the basics. But ultimately, cut out the processed foods, try to get your protein in, and try to eat healthy 80% of the time. Okay, if you can eat healthy 80% of the time, I promise you, like 2 cheat meals on the week or a weekend, like that's not going to bug you. That's not going to ruin your physique. I personally, guys, I eat out every Saturday, and a lot of time even Sunday too. I'll order food in. My girlfriend and I, we will set up something at the nighttime, and we'll order some food in on Saturday, and then on Sunday usually do it as well. And it's like totally fine with it. I love my physique. It doesn't affect me at all. So it's all about just balancing that out. Okay, you gotta enjoy yourself. You gotta live your life. But ultimately, work on getting that more protein in. Make sure you're getting your enough water in, and most importantly, if you want to lose the weight, caloric deficit. Okay, be in a good caloric deficit to help you lose not just weight, but specifically fat. Okay. So, last thing I want to leave you off with here, because as your estrogen dips, is so will like you will notice at least during those times that your mental health might go up and down. Okay, and oftentimes if our mental health is not there, well, it's going to be much harder to do it. And my best tips for you, whenever I'm struggling and I'm in a deep rut mentally, I just tell myself, like, hey, you got to understand that your emotions are never going to get you to your goals, okay? Because your emotions, I might wake up tomorrow and I might feel like the happiest person alive. And then halfway through the day, I might feel just super shitty because randomly, like just the emotions, things happen in life, right? I might wake up the next day, feel super crappy. So I got to understand that my emotions will never take me to where I want to go in life. It will never let me accomplish my goals. So I cannot rely on my emotions. Therefore, I have my plan. I have my goal set out, so I'm going to take action anyways, because that is my focus. I'm not focusing on the negatives. I'm not focusing on, I feel like shit, so I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to go do it and take action anyways. So that's one thing you can practice too if you are worried about the mood swings or your mental health holding you back. You just take action anyways. Take action anyways. Go through it, push through it, build that mental callus, because that's going to help you so, so much. And the reason why is because in order to maintain your weight loss, you got to go through the steps. You got to go through the journey of learn how to do it properly. Okay, pushing through, making the progress, understanding, that your why is more important than any kind of excuse. And when you get to that point, it's like you're going to be so grateful. You're going to learn the lesson of delayed gratification, and it's going to become a lifestyle because you took the time and you learned the steps to get there. Okay, this is why crash dieters, they'll lose weight very fast and they gain it really fast after because they don't know how to properly maintain it. Okay, they don't go through the proper steps. So that is there. Now I want to leave you guys off with a cool thought. Okay, is that naturally what I find is that people really take a step forward, change. Like I have clients who come to me and sign up because they're literally going to die if they don't, or like major health issues, or they're just so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And ultimately, one thing I noticed is that when people you will really start to change when the fear I guess you have of staying the same becomes greater than the risk of you taking action. Okay, so what I recommend that you do is because ultimately what's going to happen here is that a lot of people will watch this training and then you'll go back to your normal lives and you'll go right back to your old habits, social media, work, kids. You're going to get distracted really quickly, and a lot of you moms, I'm sorry, but you put yourself on the back burner. You don't make yourself a priority. Okay, so it's so easy for you to get distracted. And I've heard tales of people too, just literally covering themselves up so they don't even look at their bodies and they don't look at themselves so they don't have to deal with it. So what I want you to do, and I want to challenge you, is I want you to sit with yourself tonight, either in the bath, in the shower, whatever it may be, and take 5 minutes and be 100% real with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and be 100% real with yourself. Be like, okay, am I cool with this going on for the rest of my life? Okay. Do I want this to keep going? How do I truly want to be? Why do I actually want to do it? And don't just say you want to get healthier. Like, be 100% real with yourself. My reason was my fear is that I was so sick and tired of being insecure. Okay. I hate the way I felt in my skin. I hate the way I looked in the mirror. And it became so bad that I had to make a change. Okay. It became greater than the risk of me taking action and working on myself. And I promise you, once you actually take action and work on yourself, you're going to notice that your mind freaking lied to you. Okay. It lies to you. It's crazy because now I'm happier than ever. I'm in love with my routine and I love this journey. I cannot wait to go to the gym today. It is literally my love. And 6 years ago, oh, I would think about the gym as like a nightmare because it's like, oh my gosh, like I look like I don't like the way I look. I don't want people to see me in there. What if, they make fun of me? Like people are gonna be stronger than me. Like as a guy, it's like, people are gonna be bigger and stronger, more muscular. So it sucked back then. But eventually, like I literally just got so addicted. And I promise that can happen to you too. You gotta fall in love with that personal development and that process. Okay. So that's another part of making this a lifestyle. So anyways, that is today's training. Just making sure I got everything for y'all here. Yep, that's everything. So that's training today on estrogen and hormones, or estrogen specifically, but hormones, and ultimately how can we boost our metabolism? Because that is the biggest reason why women see a just random increase and struggle much harder with their weight in their later 30s, 40s plus. Becky, you're so welcome. As always, everybody, if you made it this far and you watched it this far, make sure you put a smiley face down below in the comments. I just love to see who's paying attention. And if you have any more questions, comment down below. And if you need any help with this, you can message me CH to see if I can potentially help out. And lastly, too, if you have any lady friends who might be going through this, and because remember, this is going to happen to every one of you. This is going to happen to all the ladies. This is the natural process of the body. So if you have any lady friends who might need to watch this or who might be struggling with their weight, share this with them or get them into the group so they can watch this because it will help them tremendously. So that way, that weight, just that spike in weight doesn't, affect them mentally, whatever it may be, put them on the right path. On that though, everyone, I appreciate you all and have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the next training.